When Captain Ibrahim Traoré became president of Burkina Faso, the country was rich in gold, but the people were still poor. For many years, foreign companies took the gold and only gave Burkina Faso $1 billion a year. Most of the money went to other countries, but Traoré was different. He was young, strong, and ready to fight for his people. He told the nation, "We will take back control of our gold. It belongs to us." And he did it. In less than 2 years, Burkina Faso made more than $18 billion from its gold mines. The money stayed in the country. Roads were fixed. Soldiers got better equipment. Kids started going back to school. People felt proud again. They called him the captain of the new dawn. But not everyone was happy. In a quiet government office, three powerful men were watching Traoré on a small screen. They had ties to foreign companies. They were losing money, and they were angry. "This boy has gone too far," one of them said in a low voice. "It's time to stop him." Cliffhanger. One of the men opened a small black case. Inside was a red button. A few months later, President Ibrahim Traoré was invited to speak at the United Nations. Leaders from all over the world were watching. Some were curious, some were nervous. They wanted to hear why this young African president had removed foreign troops, taken control of gold mines, and refused outside help. Traoré walked into the room with confidence. He didn't have papers. He didn't need a teleprompter. He looked straight into the cameras and said, "Africa is not poor. We are rich, but we've been robbed. For years, our gold, our land, and our people were used. That ends now. Burkina Faso will stand on its own." The room went silent. Then slowly, some leaders began to clap. His words hit hard and fast. Within minutes, the video was all over the internet. Africans everywhere shared it, saying, "This is the leader we've been waiting for." People back home celebrated. Farmers danced, soldiers saluted. Young people shouted in the streets, "We are free!" But in the shadows, something dark was already moving. At a military base near Bobo Dioulasso, a powerful general named Colonel Dabiré was watching Traoré's speech. He had once trained in France. He had friends in high places, and he was not clapping. His phone buzzed. A private message appeared on screen, just 4 words. "It happens after midnight." Cliffhanger. Colonel Dabiré opened a locker. Inside were weapons not given by the Burkina Faso army. At 12:03 a.m., gunshots broke the silence near the Ouagadougou airport. Soldiers in black masks moved quickly through the city. They weren't part of the national army. They didn't speak. They just followed orders. In minutes, communication towers were shut down. The internet was cut. Roads were blocked. The presidential palace was surrounded. Burkina Faso was under attack, but most people were still asleep. Inside the palace, President Traoré's loyal guards stood their ground. Many were just young men from small villages. One of them, a 22-year-old soldier named Musa, got shot in the leg but refused to leave his post. "I will not let them take the captain," he shouted, holding his rifle tight. At the same time, Traoré was rushed to a secret underground room, a bunker, by his personal aide, Adama. It was supposed to be the safest place in the city, but Adama had a secret. He had been paid $2 million to give away the president's location. His hands were shaking, not from fear, but from guilt. His phone buzzed. A message flashed on the screen. "Now! Open the gate." He looked at the steel door that protected the president. All he had to do was turn the key. Cliffhanger. Adama slowly reached for the lock, just as footsteps echoed down the hallway. As the palace was under attack, something happened that no one expected. News of the coup spread fast, through radio, phone calls, and WhatsApp messages. By 2 a.m., crowds of civilians were already marching toward the presidential palace. They came with no weapons, only flags, drums, and their voices. Men, women, and children filled the streets. In the front was Salimata, a 68-year-old grandmother from a small village. She stood in front of a military truck and shouted, "You will not take our future. You will not touch our captain." Inside the palace, Adama was still standing near the locked bunker, trying to decide what to do. Suddenly, the lights went off. Everything went dark. His phone died. The entire system shut down. It wasn't an accident. A team of electric workers, led by a young technician named Fidel, had cut the palace's power from outside. Fidel had once studied under a solar program launched by Traoré's government. Tonight, he used that knowledge to fight for his country. In the darkness, loyal guards found Adama. He tried to run, but Musa, still bleeding from his leg, caught him with a single shot into the air. "Traitor," he whispered, dragging Adama to the floor. Traoré was safe. The bunker was secure. But then, an emergency phone inside the bunker started ringing. It was a red phone, only used in life-or-death situations. Traoré answered it himself. A voice on the other side was trembling. "Mr. President, they've taken the mobile hospital." Cliffhanger. The line went dead. The screen showed a red blinking dot moving fast toward the border. President Traoré didn't wait. He gathered a small team. Not foreign fighters, not private guards, just local heroes. Farmers turned soldiers, village women trained as medics, and brave young men like Musa, still limping from his bullet wound. They moved fast, using the GPS signal from the mobile hospital. The signal was weak. Time was running out. As the sun began to rise, they spotted the convoy near the desert border with Mali. Traoré raised his fist. "We do not fight for power. We fight for the people." They attacked from all sides. Dust filled the air. Bullets flew. The traitors fought hard, but the people fought harder. Musa, with only one working leg, saved 2 wounded medics. Dr. Aminata protected her patients, even while gunfire hit the hospital walls. And then, it ended. Colonel Dabiré stood alone. He pointed his gun at Traoré, smiling coldly. "You can't save them all," he said. Traoré looked him in the eyes. "Maybe not, but I can stop you." One final shot echoed in the desert. Dabiré dropped. The mobile hospital was saved. The doctors cried. The soldiers cheered. The people had won. 1 week later, President Traoré stood at the United Nations again. This time, the whole world listened. No whispers, no mocking, only silence and respect. He looked into the cameras and spoke clearly. "Africa is not a playground. We are not your minefields or testing grounds. We are builders, farmers, fighters, and we will rise. We do not want pity. We want respect." And this time, the world clapped. Burkina Faso had survived betrayal, blood, and darkness. But the people, ordinary people, had become the heroes, and their story had just begun.